going to be off the charts. Listen, Baylor is a great basketball team, and it's interesting when you look at the point spreads tonight. They're both 8 right now. Baylor favored by 8 against Arkansas. Houston favored by 8 against Oregon State. I'm going to take Baylor, and I'm going to take Houston to win. I guess at some point I'm going to have to recognize what Oregon State has done. I will take Oregon State with the points. I think Thompson is a superb basketball player. Houston knocked the stuffing out of my orange, and they were excellent on defense and rebounding. We didn't help matters, in terms of hitting shots. I think Oregon State's going to hang. I think it's going to be a terrific basketball game. I'll take Oregon State with the points. I'm going to take Baylor to cover because I think it'll be a great game throughout. I think Baylor will just put the clamps on. Truth be told, even for lock of the night purposes, I wouldn't touch either one of these games. I don't feel great about either one. I like Oregon State more, but I'll take Oregon State tonight with the points, Houston to win. And I'll take Baylor favored by 8, but I'm not taking either one of them. I'm not taking either one of them for the lock of the night, which, of course, is in the final segment. And we were piping hot last week with the old lock of the night. By the way, I can't believe how many star NFL players, when Adam Schefter tweeted that there's an anticipation that the 17-game NFL season is going to be approved this week, how many players are surprised by this? Guys, you had to vote. This is old news. This is like a year-old news. You guys had the vote. I interviewed Calais Campbell, one of the player reps, after he got traded to the Ravens, and he was critical of the vote and the process. That was a year ago, 365 days ago. I interviewed Calais Campbell about this. I mean, I don't know what you guys are thinking. These owners should build a statue outside every stadium of D. Smith, who's the head of the Players Association. He has just been incredible giving these owners whatever they want. Look, the reason this thing passed is because the low-level to mid-level player voted yes, and there are more of those kind of players. They voted yes because at the end of the day, they want the extra game check. The Stars don't want this. So you'll lose an exhibition game, a preseason game. Didn't matter. They weren't playing it in the first place. So you're going to get a 17th game, which, listen, for us, for business, for conversation, it's great. I never would have messed with 16, but more is more. There's a risk of injury, so I don't want to hear about the emphasis on player health and safety. I like 16 more than 17, but for us, it's great. For fans, for media, for talk show hosts, great. There's going to be an extra week, so now it's good for fantasy football. It's good for gambling. It's good for football on the field. It's going to set up even more drama. It's going to be awesome. Push back the Super Bowl. I mean, there's going to be more football, so that's going to be a positive. Players don't want this, the top players. I mean, but you have Alvin Kamara with the tweets. I mean, I just don't understand the surprise. You guys voted on it. You voted on it. That was absolutely bizarre. Very, very bizarre. Chris in Philadelphia, our good friend. Next on Sports.
Okay, before I get to my point, I'm laughing to myself because you're talking about the incompetence of DeMaurice Smith, and I'm thinking about that episode from Seinfeld when Jerry and George are talking about Chamberlain versus Churchill, and George says something to the effect, if you stuck Chamberlain's head in the toilet, he'd give you half of Europe. And I kind of think about that with DeMaurice Smith.
Yep. I think you summed it up perfectly, Chris.
Yes, thank you. I'm going to make this quick with Mac Jones because it sounds like that's who they're going up to get. And I watched college football for a long time. I kind of think Mac Jones is Ken Dorsey 2.0. And for people who don't know who that is, he was the Miami Hurricane quarterback when Miami was loaded in the 2000s. NFL talent on both sides, and he kind of was the beneficiary of this. And with Mac Jones, like, he's a good player, and if he fell to you at like 14, 15, all right, take your chance. But drafting capital for a guy who has the best offensive line, the best receivers, best running back, best in-game coaching. But here's another thing that Mac Jones had going for him was when Saban does these reclamation projects with head coaches, like, well, I forgot their names now, but guys who made their bones as defensive coordinators and offensive coordinators as head coach, they come on as analysts, and what their job is the week ahead.
Oh,
before
yeah.
they play the next opponent, they do all the advanced scouting.
Well, and he's done that with even former executives. Our good friend Phil Savage had that role when he was doing the Alabama broadcast, and they did it with Sark, and they're doing it now with O'Brien. Doug Marrone is going to be an assistant coach now for Alabama football.
Yeah. So you have, that's what I'm saying with any quarterback on this. You're getting so much in favor for you that it's hard to say, is this guy really that good, or is he worth jumping up this much when this guy has, so many riches, it's embarrassing.
Well, Chris, let me back up a couple of steps here and answer the question, too. Sure. By the way, I love the reference to Ken Dorsey. We're the same age. I loved Ken Dorsey. Those Miami teams were just machines. I'll give you an example, though. I remember an interview that Ernie Accorsi did with Christopher Mad Dog Russo years ago. He loved Ken Dorsey. Loved Ken. There are a lot of people who like Ken. Now, I don't think Mac Jones is Ken Dorsey. I think Mac Jones is Tua. That in terms of the level of NFL quarterback, and I think he's better than Tua. I mean, a lot of people think he's better than Tua. Some people have compared Mac Jones to Matt Ryan. If you're drafting Matt Ryan with the 3rd overall pick, it's a major win for the San Francisco 49ers. And here's the beauty, and I understand the Ken Dorsey reference, but that's the job of these teams. To find, and, I'm not going to hold it against Mac Jones that he maximized talent. Now, is he one of these quarterbacks that will raise the level of everyone around him? That's up for conversation. Debate remains to be seen. Mac Jones and Kyle, because you go back to what Bill Walsh said forever on quarterbacks. It's the coach's job to make them a success. Surround them with the right system, the right players. That's not a negative. So Mac Jones playing for Kyle Shanahan? Yeah, count me in.
Maybe. I think if it fell to him, and you're saying Matt Ryan played for a Boston College team that had no talent on it, and he was carrying them every single week.
You remember those Matt Ryan discussions where I remember interviewing Matt, why did you throw 18, 19 interceptions? Because, what was his name? Jeff Jagosinski was telling him to chuck it into double coverage.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah. So I think, even when we had the 2018 quarterback class, 2 of those guys already look like they could be busts. I think in this class coming in, I feel good. Lawrence, I think, is going to be a star. I think Wilson's going to be good. I think Fields is going to be good. Trey Lance to me, is the biggest wild card. Is he could be a bust or he could be great. And Matt Jones could turn out to be a nice quarterback. I just think giving up that much capital to go and get him, I think that's the one I kind of scratch my head on. But we'll see. Whatever. I'm not an NFL GM, so I just give him my opinion.
Chris, excellent stuff as always, my friend. Appreciate the telephone call. Mr. Eagle in Philly, our good friend. Next on Sports.
It's the final countdown till Howie gets fired. Till Howie gets fired. Adam, this weekend, oh man, I was so excited. And then all of a sudden, this little alert comes on my phone. The Philadelphia Eagles trade the 6th pick for number 12. Adam, we have a mediocre quarterback already. We have below average wide receivers in Philly. We're fixing to trade Zach Ertz. So now, thank God we don't have a good quarterback anymore because, they said that, Carson Wentz was a good quarterback. But now we have nothing. I was praying 3 years ago for DJ Metcalf, but, Howie, no, we're going to go J.J. Arcega-Whiteside from Stanford, much better wide receiver. Last year, please, Lord, give me CeeDee Lamb or Justin Jefferson. No, we're going to give you Jalen Reagor, and you're going to like it. And then this year, I'm like, oh, my
Reagor
God.
over Jefferson is just one of the all-time first-guess blunders.
Oh, and then this year, I'm like, oh, my God. We've got a choice of 3 good receivers. 3 good receivers. Now, come on, Adam. We might as well just trade out of 12 again. Be like, hey, anybody want to trade? Come on. This is Howie trying to make himself look good because we're going to be easily 3-14 next year. If we're lucky. We have no quarterback. We got no one to throw to.
By the way, good job by you on the quick math with the record adding up to 17. I mean, it hit me earlier when I said, going to be a 500 team. I'm like, man, you can't even be a 500 team anymore. That's
you
weird.
can't be 500.
No.
Adam, this weekend, it started off with a Malox moment, some Pepto-Bismol on Friday. Then I got to watch the madness, and I was just like, oh, man, let's get some pizza. And then, yesterday with, all the games even more turned into a Chinese Sunday. But it just killed me with the Malox moment on Friday. I mean, do I have to switch teams? For the love of God. I mean, do I got to wave the white flag? Do I got to become a Bills Mafia fan and start jumping through tables in my Mr. Eagles outfit or something like that and hope to fly? I mean, for the love of God, Adam, 16 years I've been calling, and it just seems like as long as Howie's been controlling the ship, he just wants to sink it faster than the Titanic.
Yeah, but you can't change teams. I mean, it's your identity. It's literally your nickname. You're Mr. Philly. You're taking days off from work when Colangelo's got the burner accounts. You're Mr. Flyer. You're Mr. Philly bullpen. No. Changing teams, not an option. Mr. Eagle, let me backtrack. I hear you. I think Philly made a smart move. You got an extra first-round pick. To your point, you're not close this year. Now, I understand your anger and frustration because that's the fault of the brass, right? They put themselves in this predicament. That's all their faults, right? Based upon what they did last year with the draft. You're 100% right. I think under the circumstance that they created, I will grant you that. I think this move made a lot of sense.
Adam, if Howie Roseman comes out and says trust the process, holy God. I'm telling you, if he comes in and says trust the process, I mean, there might be a city burning down called Philadelphia because we ain't going through another process with the Sixers. And sure enough, the Flyers, they can't stop anyone at the blue line. And now we got the Eagles giving up everything. The Sixers, please give me
I still think you're going to get a really good player at 12. I think it's a nice endorsement, even if it was backwards on Jalen Hurts. I'm okay with this from a Philly perspective. I'm okay. I know what you're saying. Stay at 6. You'll get either Chase or Smith. It's not out of the realm of possibility that Smith is going to be there at 12. It's not. If 5 quarterbacks go, Pitts goes, Chase goes. You could see a corner go. You could see Parsons go. You could see 2 tackles go. That's 12. It's not out of the realm of possibility that you still get Smith. I'm not saying it's likely, but you could still, and you're going to have 3 first-round picks next year. So I'm not going to kill him. Tony in Miami, our good friend. Next on Sports.
Schein, great to talk to you again. How's it going?
Hey, Tone, what's cooking?
Nothing, just excited. The Dolphins, they make this time of year interesting, and I think it's going to translate this fall finally. I think it's going to raise Tua's game. I'm excited. We got a first-round pick in 2023. We got a third-rounder next year. Things are looking up. I think, Waddle will be there. Pitts should probably be there. So it's going to be a great pick either way. We pick up extra picks, and Tua's going to get better because of it. So I'm excited.
Listen, I think if you're a Dolphins fan, this is such a win. I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it on the picks. You're going to get your guy at 6, and it's a major vote of confidence for Tua Tagovailoa, and I absolutely endorse it in every possible way. Great perspective, great telephone call, Tony. I can't wait to see who you guys said made the best trade on Friday with the poll question results. Plus, the Scheinbox question, the best moment of the weekend in college hoops was blank and why? Right after our good friend Dan Lang on the Mad Dog Sports Radio Sports Fight.